This is part 2 of our trip from South Carolina to Florida. While we waited for the storm to pass, we did some maintenance. First up was our radar. Second is our VHF antenna. Stay tuned. First step was finding a protected anchorage, which was no easy task.
All right, we did the unboxing of our new radar. Amal had the honors. Woo!
Unboxing. Quantum 2 right there.
Quantum 2 going in today.
Don't drop it.
It's very light. There's the box. We didn't do a proper unboxing, but hey, you know, it's not too exciting. Not many parts and pieces. All right, here's the mission. There's the radar. It's about at the spreaders. So we need to get up there, replace it in, 15, 20 knot winds, but hopefully we're gonna strap that on so it doesn't get away from him, and then hook it back up to the wires and test it. That's the mission.
Bill is up on the mast and he is removing the radar, and we are going to then hook it to a halyard line to bring it down to the deck, and then move on to mounting our new one. All right, radar is off and we are lowering to the deck on the halyard line. It is quite windy. I've removed the wind noise so that it won't be annoying to everyone, but Amal is on deck to catch it, and you can see by the bottom of his pants that the wind is still blowing quite heavily out there. The new one is actually lighter than the old one. By the way, Amal joined us by hooking up with us on the Go Sailing app that ASA offers. And it's a really good app for connecting with other people that are doing journeys and maybe going on one yourself. So I really recommend that app if you're looking for something like that. We do offer occasional trips that Amal is lucky enough to get on one. We offer training, real world experience type of excursions. We are not the type of catamaran that's going to entertain you, but we'll definitely give you a real world experience in the middle of the night, storms. Not that we do that stuff on purpose, but it just seems like because of our work schedules, when we want to go sailing and can go sailing, we always end up with something that we have to deal with, some challenge, and that's okay. All right, the new one is now going up. Now the radar is safely in Bill's hands and we just have to mount it. Luckily, the mounting holes are the same on the new radar as was on the old radar, so that makes installation quite a bit easier. Raymarine seems to be pretty good at that. We had a similar situation on the MFDs that we recently installed, which was a different video. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that the new radar connects wirelessly to the whole system, and we also can connect via Ethernet. Since we already had an existing Ethernet cable on the boat, we went ahead and hooked up using the Ethernet cable. It's just a lot more reliable connection in our opinion, rather than relying on the wireless, but it's there if you need it. So the next thing that Bill needs to take a look at is the VHF antennas. We discovered that our AIS was not transmitting properly, and the VHF radios were kind of working sometimes, not very well. So we did some testing, switched out some wires inside to actually test the systems, and one of the VHF antennas just was not working properly at all. So now he is removing that VHF antenna from the spreaders, and we will figure out what we need to do there. We don't have an extra one on board, so we're going to have to head to the store and acquire one. Luckily, we're at Fernandina Harbor in Florida, so we have a WestRock nearby that we can go and get an antenna for that. But the first step is to identify what the problem actually is and make sure that we can actually replace it.
The radar job looks complete. It's all dialed in, mounted, cables on it. Should be good when we fire it up. So then we went over to the VHF because we have a bad VHF antenna. Unfortunately, as Bill was screwing that antenna off, it looks like the cable broke out of it. So that's not good news. We're not sure which one it is, so we're getting ready to short it and find out. I'm with you, Bill.
And there he is at the top of the mast. Now trying to mount a new VHF antenna up there.
So, as usual on these projects, something always doesn't go as planned. So we went to the store yesterday and got the new VHF antenna. Did not really open it or look at the instructions. Came back to the boat and learned that we needed a soldering gun. There's a piece on it that needs to be soldered shut once you connect it. So we had to wait till the next morning. So this is day 2 of this project. Go out again, get a soldering gun, come back, and did our little work. And then back up to the mast to mount the VHF antenna, and we'll have clear connections for AIS and VHF.
You push it up and then fold it back around the outside of that. Best you can. It doesn't have to be perfectly distributed or anything.
Without peeling them off. Clean as a whistle right there, buddy. Clean, clean. So fresh and so clean. Would essentially go against that.
Will it go over that?
You would think it would.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to.
That looks challenging.
Well, it's you're just a man for it then. Probably plenty of wire here. Okay, and then we're just gonna probably end up, let's see what it says. Yes, we have to put a drop of solder in there. So you gotta heat the copper if you can from underneath.
Right here.
Well, that too. Yeah, we'll need to
We're
drop
dropping
that.
solder here.
Yeah, as well, right. But I would put, yeah, get underneath it if you can. And when you put a little bit of solder in there, it kind of be thermal conductor there. Just hold it there. Okay, we don't need it on the outside of that because it's got to go up in that connector.
Yeah.
May have to sand some of that off or try to smear some of it off. Did you burn yourself?
I don't know. I got getting electrical shock through my arms into my finger.
How can that be?
I don't know, man. It's pretty cool. Like bright light bulb style.
Like Tesla?
Mm-hmm.
What a crappy job it might do.
What do you mean crappy? Come on, man.
Hold it on there a second. All right.
Okay, all projects complete. It is about noon. We are pulling anchor. And since there's a lot of us on the boat this time, I thought I would get a shot of pulling the anchor from the bottom of the boat, which is kind of interesting. Lots of grassy debris in the water here. Hey, notice how the anchor comes up and it's the wrong direction, so the swivel doesn't swivel. We've greased it, T9'd it, whatever. We've done all we can think of, but we still have to reach down and line it up correctly so it goes in the pocket correctly. Hey, we thought we'd give you a tour of the WestRock paper manufacturing plant. Who knows, they're probably making those coveted paper towels and toilet paper rolls that we all need. So this is a real interesting factory in WestRock's doing a lot of expansion too, but it's just kind of interesting to watch the whole thing. And the factory is huge. It takes up many acres, and it's lit up at night. It's real pretty. Holy crap.
Got it?
That's some weight.
Okay, yes sir, we're underway, making way. We're moving from Fernandina Beach, Florida, and now got a waypoint around Cape Canaveral. It's blowing 20, 25. It's really a consistency 23 to 26. And these are 9-foot seas. Pretty big ones coming slightly off of the port quarter, and sways us a little bit, but we got a single reef main, a reef jib. Weather helm's not too bad on it. Autopilot's holding it. Making 9 to 10 knots, so cruising quickly but rolling. There's some pretty big ones here and there. You want to come up into the wind off those. Nice dive. Here's the happy crew. I'm going to say brave crew. They waited 3 days in Fernandina, and anywhere from really an average of 25 to 40 knots of wind.
And 50 degrees.
50 degrees, it was cold. Stayed on anchor, had 2-foot breakers on anchor. It wasn't very comfortable. A lot of boats drug anchor while we were there. We saw a few of them up on the reef. We were going to attempt to salvage them, but we were kind of in a hurry to get out of there. But we're sailing at, what kind of speed we got?
About 9 knots.
9 knots, that's good.
8 to 9.
And the true wind speed?
20.
20, 25.
20, 25 knots true wind speed. Slightly downwind sail.
Got it exactly a little bit.
That's right. Okay.
Well, the wind is at, looks like 120.
120, yeah, I'll take that for a broad reach.
Or 125, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
We got a broad reach, a little hard to hold the jib there, but she's sailing well, right?
Yeah.
Everybody agree?
Yes, sir.
Does anyone smell anything? Like,
Yeah, it's lunch.
Oh,
It's like pizza to me.
yeah.
It's pizza.
I'm
Is
like,
it really?
We're gonna try pizza.
Okay.
It's easy.
The barber hauler on the Genoa sheet. and after Bill's yo-yo trip up and down the mast about 5 times, we have good VHF, we have good AIS, look at everything. Knock on wood.
Yeah, for the moment.
Everything works. Okay, lunchtime. Hey, we wanted to mention to you the Eartec headsets that we're using here. They're obviously, we bought them for docking, and it's a great, everybody says, you know, it's a marriage keeper, and they are great for that, but they're indispensable for projects like we're doing right now, because I got a man a quarter of the way up the mast right now. He's probably going to end up going all the way up the mast. I'm in the helm station, so he and I have direct line of communication, which is absolutely key as to when he needs to go up, go down, and any of the tools and everything else he needs on the way up there. So definitely, when you start working on the boat, whether you're front end, back end, up on the mast, these are great headsets to be able to communicate with.
Especially better than the VHF radios because these are hands-free. So
Yeah, we used to use the VHF, the handheld VHFs to go up there, but then there's one more thing in your hand when you're up on the mast, and you don't have enough hands to be up there for that.
thanks, Captain.